I glide through the polished brass doors of the High Grove, Chicago's crown jewel of haute cuisine, and feel the restaurant's hushed grandeur wrap around me like a silken cloak. Crystal chandeliers descend from coffered ceilings, refracting light into prismatic cascades over mahogany tables draped in immaculate white linens. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Lake Michigan, its evening waters shimmering like scattered diamonds beneath the twilight. "Miss Ross, welcome back," intones the general manager, a distinguished man in his 50s with salt and pepper hair and effortless grace. "Your private dining room is ready." I nod, aware of my family trailing behind. My father, Harold, halts mid-step, brows arching over his receding hairline. "Palmer?" His voice carries that familiar mix of surprise and disbelief. At 61, his eyes retain the sharp intelligence that built his modest accounting practice, though now clouded with uncertainty. Before I can answer, my mother, Elaine, exchanges a fleeting glance with my older sister. Her fingers adjust the pearl necklace Dad gave her for their 35th anniversary. At 59, she exudes the same composed elegance I've long admired, yet a flicker of unease mars her poise. "Must be a mix-up," Marissa murmurs, loud enough for me to hear. 33, my sister has mastered the art of the backhanded remark. As communications director at a mid-sized marketing firm, she wears authority like armor. Tonight, she's clad in a designer suit that probably costs more than a month's rent, at least what my family believes my entire apartment costs. Dylan, my 25-year-old brother, surveys the room with the calculating precision of a freshly minted MBA, mentally tallying the cost of imported marble floors and the vintage champagne being poured nearby. "This place must clear 7 figures monthly," he mutters under his breath. Behind them, Connor, Marissa's husband, checks his watch with subtle tension, his eyes lingering a beat too long on the menus displayed near the host's stand. "Right this way," the manager continues, either ignoring or deliberately overlooking their reactions. He guides us past the main dining room, past tables of Chicago's elite sipping wines more expensive than my family assumes I earn in a month. When we reach the private room at the back, my father stops. A gold plaque beside the heavy oak door reads, "Ross Family." His gaze meets mine, a question forming without words. "Happy birthday, Dad," I whisper. Inside, the table gleams under a private chandelier. Each place setting rests with military precision. A bouquet of my father's favorite lilies scents the air. As we settle into plush chairs, the familiar dance of scrutiny and judgment begins. "Palmer, honey," Mom starts, her tone the same she's used since college. "This is sweet, but is it really sensible? Places like this are so expensive." Marissa leans forward conspiratorially. "I could have gotten you a discount at Gaston's through a client connection." "You should have asked." I take a slow sip of water, letting its coolness settle the familiar tightness in my chest. This is the same song, different verse. Last Christmas, Dylan gifted me a career advice book, highlighting chapters on leaving freelance for full-time. Marissa routinely offers client connections without ever asking about my existing ones. "My apartment's closer than you think," I respond, letting ambiguity shield me. My one-bedroom in Evanston isn't about budget constraints, it's proximity to my company's warehouse. The deliberate misdirection feels both protective and painful. "Still in that small place?" Mom asks. "There are some nice affordable options opening up in Wicker Park." I've perfected the art of deflection, honed since college when my boyfriend paraded me as the scholarship girl, his personal project, his token of charitable interest. "It's going well enough," I answer, the word stale on my tongue from years of repetition. The sommelier approaches with a leather-bound wine list. Marissa reaches for it with the confidence of someone accustomed to dominance. "Let me handle this, Palmer," she says that I slide my hand forward, smiling politely. "I've got this covered tonight." Scanning the familiar pages, I look up. "We'll have the Chablis Grand Cru 2018, please." Marissa's perfectly arched eyebrows soar. "That's $300. It's Dad's birthday," I reply, meeting her gaze steadily. "Nothing but the best." Dad squeezes my hand, genuine pride flickering across his features. For a moment, I glimpse not just fatherly affection, but recognition. Something long withheld. As the first course arrives, lobster poached in butter with lemon beurre blanc, Dylan chokes softly. $500 per person, prix fixe, he mutters, eyes darting to me. Connor leans to Marissa, whispering. Her face tightens with renewed suspicion that I sip water, centering myself. Tonight is about Dad, I remind myself. Yet the first course also reminds me, I'm not here to appease anyone but myself, and my father. 10 minutes later, I excuse myself. I need to speak with the chef about Dad's seafood allergy, I explain. Thomas, our server, guides me toward the kitchen. From the dining room, snippets of critique drift. Marissa's voice, sharp and judgmental, this place is ridiculous. She lives in a one-bedroom in Evanston. Connor adds, bye. Dylan laughs, maybe she's dating the manager. Each barb pricks, but I remain composed. For years, these words have stung. Tonight, they register as patterns, not truths. I breathe, drawing on years of deliberate calm. This evening isn't about them, it's about Dad. Returning to the table, I announce, Chef is preparing something special. Marissa leans in, voice honeyed with concern. Palmer, is this really in your budget? Yes. I've got this covered, I reply, meeting her gaze unflinchingly. Minutes later, a leather portfolio arrives, the quiet weight of authority settling on the table. Marissa lunges for it. I'll put this on my corporate card. We'll split it later. Palmer can cover the tip if that's not too much, Dylan adds, smirking. The table crackles with tension. Nearby diners glance over, curious about the unfolding drama. Actually, I say, calm, I've got this covered. Slowly, I withdraw my wallet. The matte black American Express Centurion card catches the light, its weight substantial in my hand. Silence falls. Marissa's voice rises. Is that fake? It's quite real, I answer. Thomas nods respectfully as he completes the verification. Approval granted. My family's expressions shift, disbelief, shock, awe. Dad leans back, pride mingling with surprise. Mom studies her hands. Marissa's smirk fades, replaced by confusion and something else. Hurt. Daniel Alvarez, the general manager, approaches. Miss Ross, your team produced the United Healthcare Gala last month. Remarkable work. The governor still mentions it. Marissa's jaw tightens. Connor stares at his phone, processing. Recognition settles, undeniable. I raise my glass. I suppose we should talk about what I actually do. And I tell them, Ross Signature Events, 2019 launch, small tech startups, growing to Fortune 500 clients, national events, $52 million projected revenue, 47 employees, millions in personal net worth. The room is silent, heavy with understanding. My family sees me, not the struggling freelancer, not the underestimated child, but Palmer Ross, fully realized, fully capable. Marissa's composure cracks, a tear slides down her cheek. I thought I was helping you, she whispers. I know, I reply softly. But I needed to be seen for who I am. Dad squeezes my hand. I'm so proud of you, he says, the words I've longed to hear. A month later, I oversee their 36th anniversary celebration, a meticulously orchestrated gala rivaling any corporate event I've produced. Marissa, Dylan, and Connor now collaborate, genuinely engaged, their roles redefined. My parents' pride and joy are radiant. Later, I notice a young caterer, hesitant yet talented. I hand her my card. Call me Monday. I could use someone with your instincts. The evening winds down. Dad raises his glass. To success measured not in dollars but in character. I catch my reflection in the window of my new downtown office days later. My smile is unguarded, authentic. At last, the greatest gift, living truthfully and letting those you love truly see you, buddy. This version elevates vocabulary, cinematic imagery, and emotional impact while keeping your full story intact. If you want, I can also make a slightly longer, epic version that emphasizes tension and introspection even more, pushing it closer to novel-level depth.